Hello, and welcome to the Blonde and Bald podcast.
I'm blonde.
And I'm bald. Let's get started.
You just heard Neil Perkasm play Shout to the Lord with his electric guitar, and we did an awesome interview with him. Hope you enjoy it.
So we are here with Neil Perkasm. Did I pronounce that right?
You can say it. You said it right.
Awesome.
People don't, so it's an achievement.
Is that an Indian last name?
Yeah, it's India. I'm from India. I was born there, and my parents moved here 2 months after I was born. My dad went to Bible college about 10 years before I was born, and then like 5 years after that, moved back to India, and then 5 years after that, had me, and then moved. So like,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So like North India, South India, where?
Pretty much South India. Yeah, more southern.
I teach guitar, and a lot of my guitar students were from India, but like all over.
Oh yeah.
So like I realized it's a lot like Europe, and that there's like so much different culture within.
Yeah, it is for sure. It's very diverse. Yeah, a lot of languages and dialects and subcultures for sure.
Yep. So yeah, thanks again for doing this interview. We know Neil from Worship Shred videos on YouTube. Neil is just lighting up the fretboard for the glory of God, it seems. And beyond that, he's just a nice guy on the internet. Yeah. So on Facebook, it says you're a follower of Christ. When did you start following Christ? And if you want to go into that.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in a Christian home. I mean, not just any Christian home. It's a Pentecostal pastor's home. So it was like a little more involved than most American households too. And although we did go to like a huge charismatic mega church that's local to us, like really close to us.
Where are you from, by the way?
Over here I'm from Kirkland, Washington, Seattle, pretty close to there. So, Seattle based, and there's a big mega church here I was part of for like the first 20 years of my life, and really plugged into there. But although we went to like a huge, mega church like that, we had like Pentecostal. I was raised with like Pentecostal values and beliefs. So that's pretty much mostly what I would consider myself now. And so I started following Christ at a young age, like probably 7. And that's when I was like saying I accepted Christ, and, I wanted to be saved from God's wrath at that point. And I gave my life to Christ, went through the Lord's Prayer, and focused on repenting since then. So that's what I would say was the beginning of following Christ.
That's awesome. Have you pretty much stuck to that ever since you were 7?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Luckily, fortunately for me, God's been graceful and kept me more or less in the way. So I haven't strayed off too much as far as like running away from God. But yeah, he's been faithful.
That's awesome. And so encouraging to hear. When did you start playing guitar? Was it close to around the time when you got saved or afterwards?
Actually not. Yeah, that's a good question, because I haven't. I started playing when I was like 12, just about to turn 13. Mm-hmm. It was back in 2008, beginning 2008, middle. That's when I really started playing. So I started playing just to play guitar, playing acoustic for like prayer time or like Bible studies where my dad would host those. And so I was just learning basic chords from there. and then it wasn't that engaging for me. So I just started, my dad bought me like a Squier electric guitar, and then
Like the Bullet Strat.
Yeah, I think it was a Bullet Strat. It was a white, like cream Bullet Strat, like just made in China and everything. So it was cool for what it was. And shortly after that, he also bought a Epiphone Les Paul, which I still have. And that's a much more solid instrument. I'm glad I got to have that at a young age. So yeah, I was around 12 and 13. So like the story of how I started playing was, so YouTube was getting pretty popular around that time, like 2008. And my dad showed me this viral video, because he heard about it in a pastor's conference, and they were using this video to say, okay, so the video was of Canon Rock. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that.
The Jerry C video?
Yeah, the Jerry C video, that exact one. Well, it was a cover of that one by another guy, which got way more views than the original one by Jerry C. So this video, this cover of it got like 70 to 80 million views, and they were talking about it in a pastor's conference. They were saying, oh yeah, look, if you just a boy with his camera in his video and playing guitar can reach so many people. How can we leverage this to spread the gospel and things like that? So he told me about it. He showed me the video. He's like, hey, you're playing guitar too. Like, look at this guy. And I was like, you know what? I should try to learn that somehow. And then, so I started just practicing that song mainly for like 2 or 4 months. And that's like, I had been playing guitar for like 4 months at that point. And then I don't know what, I was just so inspired by like all the players on YouTube. Like that's just been integral to my like career as a guitarist. It's like always been inspired by players I see in their videos. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I've only been playing for 4 months. I don't sound that good, but you know, why can't I just make a video? And that probably wasn't the right choice, because I did make one. I made a very low quality, high effort, low quality video that wasn't very good. And I uploaded it to YouTube, and I didn't get good feedback at all. Like they didn't have likes and dislikes back then. It worked like a star system. You would rate it out of 5. And I think mine had an average of like 3 stars. So it's like not too bad. It could be worse, but you know, it still wasn't like
still on YouTube.
It wasn't. The feedback was so bad, I decided to delete it like 2 weeks after, because I pretty much got cyberbullied off the internet because of how bad I was, to be honest. So, and like what was worse was like, I think, and what inspired me to start getting better and like getting serious about it was like, so my parents like were really proud of me for at least like trying, and they were like supportive, and they were like sending the video link to all my relatives and friends and family. And they thought it was good, you know, because they don't like, you know, they're going to support you no matter, you know, whether it's good or bad. So it was like, one time I saw one of my cousins at church, and he was like 5 or 7 at the time. And then he was like, Neil, I saw your video of Canon Rock. It was kind of good. And then he proceeds to say, he was like, and then I clicked on a related video and I saw someone play it better. It's just like, kids just don't lie at all. They don't know how to spare feelings at all. So hearing that like 12 to 13, I was like, you know what? No one is ever going to say that again. I was like, I need to become so good that there won't be a related video where someone plays it better.
Wow.
So that was, that's how it started. Yeah.
So were you able to pick up on like the sweep picking and economy picking in Canon Rock, or did you learn that through learning the Jerry C cover?
I like tried to pick up, there were like different versions of it. I tried to pick up like licks and phrases of different versions that I wanted to keep.
Okay.
But those were still hard. How did I like with the fast parts, I was probably like just playing very, you know, sloppy and messy. I would at least try, but I wasn't able to at first. It was like very, it's very sloppy. But the thing is like, I just kept on trying, And lessons were still a thing on YouTube at the time. I've actually never had a teacher or formal instruction on
It's
guitar.
entirely YouTube.
Yeah, it's entirely YouTube and just watching and just like slowing down videos and like just watching people's hands and trying to mimic it.
Wow.
So if I can do it, I think like most people can. I mean, I don't know if most people can, but it's possible to do it without a teacher if you have the willpower. So I think that's what I had that allowed me to do that. Yeah.
And you just didn't want to like someone else be better than you or something, right?
Yeah, it started from a place of like I don't know, like envy or like just trying to prove myself. Just trying to say, yeah, you know what, I can do a good job too. I mean, it was. I think just like in the musician guitar player community, it's always like a competition. Mm. It's always been a competition. It's like always who can,
especially in the shred realm.
Yeah, especially in shred land. It's
we aren't in that land whatsoever. We're just like we barely can get by. Oh man.
Yeah, I can like slap the bass.
And I can do hammer-ons and pull-offs, and that's pretty much it.
But yeah, we absolutely love the videos that you're coming up with. We wanted to know what your musical influences are, though. I thought I saw something about Necrophagus. You like?
Yeah, yeah. So like it's right now the genre I listen to the most is technical death metal, and like Necrophagus is the pinnacle of that because they are one of the pioneers of the genre, and like they've stood the test of time. Yeah, I mostly it's for like, them. It's like,
and would they be a band that you listen to? Sorry, Rings of Saturn.
Yeah, I do like a couple of their songs just because it's just all technical and like just crazy. I think it's that genres like that where it's like really guitar focused. It's like made for other guitar players and people who are interested in hearing many notes in a short amount of time. It's not really a type of atmospheric genre, but more of very fast and melodic, or maybe it's not melodic, but more of a feeling. But I don't know. You just have to. There's some stuff that still goes over my head as well. Like even though like Animals as Leaders, I can't comprehend a lot of the stuff they do.
You do the like double thumb.
Yeah, the thumping. I can't really do that. Yeah, I actually can't. Like, yeah, that's probably one of my weaknesses is like anything to do with things that aren't the pick, like hybrid picking. I'm trying to do more of that as well. You guys are probably decent at that, like using finger picking while using.
Hannah's good at that.
Yeah, that's hybrid picking. So that's a technique I'm trying to do more of, so I can like get across more strings without having to pick everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because moving the pick across strings, across a number of strings is like using up a lot of energy and time. So
that's how I started when I first started playing guitar when I was 13. No, I was 12. I didn't know how to finger pick with my fingers, so I just used a pick.
Yeah.
And I got pretty fast after a while. And then people were like, "Oh, can you finger pick?" And I'm like, no. Probably like, oh, okay, like even like girls that I was like hanging out with that would like learn how to play guitar, they like would learn how to finger pick, and I was like, oh man, I gotta do that. So eventually later on I did it, but yeah, it was kind of fun just using the pick. I think it probably was good. It's a good exercise for a beginner.
Yeah, it's more beginner friendly for sure, I guess, than having to control 4 limbs.
Which is hard, do that. Eventually it gets easy. But
yeah, because I still can't. Like for me, I just have to always use a pick, and like even when I'm playing acoustic, I would feel that my weakness as a player is rhythm, being a rhythm player, because like I've always focused like the beginning. Like the foundation of my playing has always been solos and playing leads, that I never focus on doing rhythm guitar things and rhythm and acoustic. And so I feel like that's my weakness. I never developed a strong rhythm foundation.
You just focus on solos.
Yeah, just focus on lead playing and like trying to get this deck. Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
I strayed
of
as
us.
far as from that as possible. I'm like, that's too technical. I like the rhythm. It's just so easy. But yeah, it's funny how that whatever you put your mind to, you stick.
Yeah.
And in
No.
your case, it's been really, I think, beneficial and encouraging for people, like your lead playing, because it's like very worshipful. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's epic.
It's like too good to be true.
it's like if your heart could like soar to worlds unknown, it would go through your electric guitar and its amps and finger picking. I don't know. It was just so good. Anyways.
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. What is the next question? Is that there's a segue to that? Or no?
There's not much of a segue, but
Bummer.
So what's your favorite genre to play? And then what's your favorite genre to listen to? And it's all right if they're both the same, but we're just curious.
Yeah, it is pretty much the same. I mean, I can do a short, like in a nutshell, my musical journey through genres. Like it started out like as like a Christian kid listening to like the first CDs I get is like going through my dad's CDs is like Michael W. Smith, Petra, and like the old stuff, and like Toby Mac. Got getting that for like my 10th birthday, and then sort of when I started playing guitar, I'm listening to like instrumental guitar, instrumental rock, like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai and Paul Gilbert, things like that, Yngwie Malmsteen, like all the shredders. And then like in 2014, that's when I started to get into like softer metal a bit, like Red, and then I tried to get into metalcore a bit, but it's really never stuck to me. Like someone showed me August Burns Red, and like For Today and stuff, but you know, that type of screaming really wasn't, I didn't connect with that much. Mm-hmm. But in like 2014, I was listening to Dragon Force Through the Fire and Flames a lot. Just the Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero?
Yeah, I would always play it at my friend's house, but I was never really any good. I can play on medium and that's it. I'm just like, never practiced it enough. But so I was listening to that song a lot, and then I was like, okay, so this genre is called power metal. I wonder if Christians make that at all. So I just looked up Christian power metal, and then bands like Theocracy and like Narnia came in, and like Golden Resurrection, and then I also started listening to Stryper right then. I was like, just because, you know, this is really good. I was like, oh, Christians can play fast guitar and like really skillfully. Like that was like a very, that was like a euphoric moment. I was like, oh, yeah, wow. I've never seen like any worship or like just Christian songs where guitar is playing solos like that. So it was amazing to see. And then so from that, so like from 2014 and then to present, like it's been progressive metal like Dream Theater, and then Periphery, Monuments, and then from progressive metal sort of to technical death metal where I am now. That's what phase I'm in. It's like Archspire and Necrophagist and just Beyond Creation, stuff like that. Stuff that's just like so technical. Because I think the genres I listen to, I'm always listening to stuff that's challenging me at that. I listen to stuff I can't play. And I think that's something that like all players should adopt is like when you're practicing something, you'll get better if you're playing something that you can't play. If it's like, because, you know, that's, if you're playing stuff you're comfortable with all the time, you're never going to get better really. You know, it's just like you're playing and jamming, you're having fun, and that's okay. If you're happy with where you're at, if you're content, you know, that's totally fine if you want to just keep doing that. But if you want to get better and like get more technical, you have to play more technical things and things that challenge you. And you're not going to sound good when you're practicing because you're learning, you're getting better. Mm-hmm. So that's been like, I think that's been really integral for what I listen to is just things that challenge me. And like right now I'm trying to listen to the hardest things that people are coming up with in technical death metal. So
that's awesome. Yeah. There's usually a general overlap of technical death metal and then classical music. Did you find yourself like learning any Bach on guitar or anything like that?
Yeah, not quite. There's definitely a lot of borrowed elements for like classical, neoclassical guitar in technical death metal. Yeah, for sure. I see that. I see the influence, but I have a tendency to like favor the the band that's influenced by the original band more than the original band itself.
Okay.
So things like, or like original genre in this case, like I can't listen to, I'll put on classical music maybe to like work to or something, but it's not like something I would listen to for fun. But, I just never got into it for sure. But yeah, those are the genres I'm into. I was also into like dubstep and like,
Nice.
like the electronic EDM phase of 2010, 2013.
I feel like, most boys I knew at that age, because I think I'm 28. No, I'm almost 28.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you're around that age, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm 26 in a few months.
There you go.
Cool.
So I feel like the guys just always listen to dubstep. It's just like,
Yeah, it was like a pandemic
like
of
brainwashed by dubstep. I never understood it. I thought it was just dumb.
That was a virus itself. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I don't know. I was seeing if I could try to bring it back somehow with, because I've been experimenting a lot with like 8 strings over the years, and like that has the same like timbre of like bro step, like Skrillex types of bass drops and stuff like that. Or I don't know if you guys have listened to the like Doom soundtrack at all.
Oh yeah, we're playing a band with someone that's obsessed with Doom.
Yeah, we know about Doom. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you play Doom?
No, I don't. I mean, I've tried to. I don't know. When it comes to like video games like that, I'm just like, it's like the same thing. I get like, I don't know if it's scared or I'm just like intimidated by those kind of games. But I still play like FPS games in general, but just not like, I don't know, horror type-ish games like that. But I don't know. I never finish them if I start them. So.
Right.
Yeah. Do you guys play anything like that?
Oh.
We play pretty much sports games.
I mean,
Okay,
I played Call of Duty like UO and Call of Duty 2 when I was younger.
Okay.
With my brothers,
On
but
the PC.
on the PC.
Oh, okay.
Which was like the best time ever. And then now I just play like Madden. And
Yeah, that's cool. I used to be really into Madden, and I just got 2K for the Switch.
Oh,
I
nice.
haven't
Yeah,
played it that much, but yeah.
it's awesome.
yeah, we have good friends that they are very into video games. So
They stream on Twitch and everything. Whimsical Sprites.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people our age are still, and like it's like it's still very active in it.
Yeah. I remember just like my brothers were always into video games, but I was always into the music.
Oh, okay.
So I would be playing music when they were playing video games, and I kind of continued to stay. And I still would prefer music over video games. So.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just like I would just stay in my room. Like I was playing guitar so much, it was literally 5 hours at least a day when I was like a teenager. Like it would just come in the way of homework and school and like.
What were you playing for 5 hours? Were you learning
like scales or
tech
something?
Tech death or?
No, it was like when I was a teenager. No, I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't doing anything metal. It was like always just like instrumental rock, kind of instrumental songs.
Like surfing with the alien?
Sorry?
Were you like learning shred songs?
Yeah, I was learning shred. Like I was just learning like Canon Rock. I just started off with that like monster of a song, and then like just playing that. Like once I actually learned all the notes, like you can learn all the notes of a song, but like only be able to play it like at 50% speed, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I was at. And like I don't know, I'd probably say I'd play it to like, I don't know, like a 60% level. Like back when I first learned, like 2 or 4 months of playing. But after I got to like a year of playing, yeah, that was like sort of the shred stuff. I would play like slower, like Joe Satriani songs where it's like it's like, there's like a difference. Like shred is like just fast notes on a guitar, but like it was more like legato based where it's like left-handed. Like you're playing without picking, you know, it's just you're like.
Oh yeah.
And like bending the notes and like pulling.
Pulling off a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So with the left hand, you're just changing strings, and it's mostly left hand. You're just picking one string and then letting the left hand do most of the work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the stuff I would start out with. And yeah, for me, I don't know. I think learning songs is a lot more, I don't know, motivational for practicing than just doing scales and exercises. Like for me, the practice routine I would go through and I would recommend for other people to at least try to learn songs you're like really passionate about, stuff that you're listening to over and over again, because you're going to like that song and it's going to motivate you to want to learn it and play it. So I would say, yeah, try to learn that song, learn something that's like at or above your skill level. Yeah, just keep challenging yourself. And then what I would do was, if you can't play the song still, if you're struggling to, use the techniques because it's like a new technique or whatever, you would do exercises to get the skill that song requires. So like if it's doing a particular technique like alternate picking or something, you would practice that in an exercise so that you'd be able to play that song. So that way you have a motivation for every single technique you're learning. And it's not just like, oh, I want to learn tapping, but I don't know what I'm going to play when I do. So when it's very motivational practice, that's like, it doesn't feel like work, it doesn't feel like you're forcing yourself. And I think that's what plagues a lot of beginners. It's just like, I don't even know why I'm practicing, I'm not good. And, this is like, it's very demoralizing, I think, when they're just learning scales and it's just boring and they're not good at it.
Yeah,
that's true. Really good advice.
Do you teach guitar?
Yeah, I do teach. I teach here and there. I've done lessons a little bit. Yeah, just not very consistently, but yeah, on and off.
Are they virtual or just in Washington?
It's usually virtual. especially now, but I could. Yeah, I think I've done. Yeah, I've done in person like a few times, but yeah, not consistently.
What gave you the idea to shred over worship songs?
So that was in back in 2016. So the first one I did was Our God is an Awesome God. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think I'm trying to think what was going through my mind at that time. I was just playing over backing tracks, probably secular ones too, like just jam tracks that I would find on YouTube. And I was like, what if I tried it over some songs I know? And what if I tried over a worship song? So I think I jammed over the whole song once and I was like, okay, I know the melody for it. Let me try to see if I can get this melody down. And then, so I got the melody down for the whole song. And then I was like, I don't know. I just decided that, okay, there's a song break here. And then there's another song break where it dies down. And then that's like a minute of time. So let's see if I can add some licks to it, some phrases that make it more interesting. And then, yeah, I started doing that and I was like, okay, let me record this and maybe people will like it. I was like, it was mostly just for my friends and family to see, just to say, hey, yeah, I'm still playing guitar. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be innovative with worship music somewhat. So yeah, I posted that and the response to that was unreal. It was getting shared around a bunch and it was, yeah, I didn't really expect most people to like shred guitar because and especially in a worship setting too, because I feel like in worship music, I was playing in church since the time before I knew how to play guitar properly. I didn't even know what a bar chord was. And and that's when I first got my Epiphone Les Paul. And I'd been playing for 2 to 4 months. And then, so I asked the worship leader, hey, can I start playing? And he's like, okay, can you play a bar chord? And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh yeah, the one where you do 2 and 4. I was like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I've played Canon Rock and you do that. So yeah. So I didn't know any of the terminology because I didn't have any formal education or just, yeah, I was like, I know the notes to Canon Rock. So, and I've done that before. Okay. So that's what a bar chord is. Okay. So that's when I learned the terminology. And then, so that's when I started playing in church. And then from 2007, 8 to 2011, After that time, like that's when guitar or like just worship music started becoming less guitar focused and it was more on synth. Like I would say till like 2013, it's like, yeah, that's when the whole synth craze kind of took over. And it's like guitar is more of a, I don't know, background, like accompaniment to the synth, where it's like kind of, you have a ton of reverb and delay on the guitar and it's just very clean, sort of angelic. And it's like not, you can like, it's like, it can be there or you wouldn't even tell if it's not there. So it's like very less involved. And yeah, I stopped playing in church when I was playing mostly like for the junior high class, because that's the class I was in church. And like after I was out of the high school like youth group, it started sort of disbanded from there, and I didn't play at church for a while. But so like noticing that, I was like, oh, I guess worship or like the worship industry and like the congregation don't want to hear electric guitar that much anymore. So that's what was really surprising when people actually liked my video. I was like, oh, okay. And it was like people who I wouldn't think like electric guitar at all, like just like older folks and young folks and like people who just aren't shredders liked it. And that was really surprising to me because no one likes shred except shredders. That was really surprising to see. And I was, pleasantly surprised, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try this again. And I kept on doing it and sharing it. And, it was really, I wanted to be inspiring to people and other worship guitarists to say, hey, you don't have to just play nothing. You don't have to just play whatever chords are on the sheet, just that. And you can, be innovative with it. You don't have to just go, color in the lines all the time. So
yeah.
I think it was like just a breath of fresh air is what I thought. I totally agree. It's just like how much delay and reverb can you put on one single note for worship guitar? And then that was like, how many notes can you fill in one 30 seconds? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, you could say
the opposite of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's always, I think that attitude has always been there for me, where it's like, just don't do what everyone else is doing. Like if you're just gonna copy everyone else and not try anything new, there's no point to playing, really. So I was trying to innovate and like sort of like be different, maybe stand out, and try to contribute something that's like not done before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal with all of this.
Did you ever listen to Misty Edwards?
The name sounds familiar. I don't think
she's related with like International House of Prayer, but her guitarist is like the closest I think to like shredding. It's an awesome guitar solos.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
what are some good tracks on that?
I think like the My Soul Longs for You.
Yeah.
We'll like we can send you those later.
Okay.
But there's like some really good ones.
Yeah, it reminds me of International House of Prayer. It was like they just kind of had back in like the
like 09.
09. They just had a bunch of electric guitar shredding kind of like and it sounded so good. It's just like really like it was just nice to it was a breath of fresh air. Anyways. What
is the most challenging thing about shredding over worship music?
Yeah, I was thinking about this because it's come up recently because I have sort of run out of ideas for what I could do for worship shred, because it's like I've done I think 14 now, and it's like, first of all, I just worship music in general, like especially modern worship, is just like for me the most important thing is melody, and it's kind of lacking in that area where it's just like it's one line where it's repeated over and over, and it's like, and in that line it's like 3 whole notes that are repeated, like it's either going like up down between 3 notes, and it's not like going between 5 notes or something, or 8, or I mean just like 5 or 7 in a scale, but it's just not diverse, and it doesn't give me too much room to improvise on it. So I'd say the I mean, the biggest obstacle right now when I try to look for new songs to shred to is the very common chord progressions, where it's like because all of them use it. I mean, I have to think like, yeah, I'm not formally trained. I can't even. I'm trying to think of what like the most common chord progression is.
Like G, B, E minor, C, or something.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we all know them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all know them.
what about hymns?
Yeah, exactly. I've been trying to do more.
Hymns
Yeah,
are
I've been trying to do more.
all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I did like In Christ Alone.
Yeah,
That one was really. I think that's that's probably my favorite one. So I should probably do more like that. But yeah, the only obstacle is, or I don't know. It's not really an obstacle. I try to find like instrumental tracks or like karaoke tracks, sort of like what Shane and Shane does. They like offer instrumental tracks for whatever they do, and so I try to find those. And like hymns don't always have that, but I do find some tracks like that. I prefer not to make my own. I mean, just because like it takes a lot of work, and then like I end up scrapping it after. But yeah, I've been encouraged to like try doing that and try to do my own my own entire track, so that I could even like avoid the copyright and be able to like market it as my own thing as well.
Right.
So yeah, hymns for sure is a good idea. So I've been trying to do that. The other, I try to do songs that people will relate to, or like songs people already know. Like the next one I was looking at was like Waymaker, but that one's got sort of a common chord progression too.
Yeah.
And like the thing, but what sort of helps me out is the fact that like these songs, even though they have the same chord progression, they have a different melody that goes over them. So I try to play off the melody and try to create something that like my mind comes up with based on that melody. So like the melody is different, even though the chord progression is the same. So that allows me to come up with different phrases and licks, and it all works out that way. So it's not like a totally, it's not something that makes it totally impossible, but it's just hard. I'd say chord progression is one of the biggest obstacles to making worship shred.
Oh yeah, we saw the Kurt Franklin video as well, which was
I did that. Yeah, I think a year or two ago. Yeah, that one was a experiment I tried. I don't know. I think I saw that. I don't know. A lot of the like short like jam videos I do are based off of like things I see, and like short videos are like memes. Like there's this meme of a guy dancing to the Kirk Franklin song, and I was like, oh, that's kind of good. I like that song. And then like I go check it out, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna jam to this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a lot of that is just random inspirations come from nowhere. So like it's not like strict. It's not like premeditated. Yeah, I like the song. Where it's mostly just like, oh, I saw this in a short meme video and it sounds good, so I'm gonna jam over it. So.
All right, we're starting a new portion in our podcast, and you're the first person to go through it, but we stole it from another video series. It's over and under. You're going to say whether you think something is overrated or underrated. So the first thing for you to rate is first act guitars.
First act guitars. I don't have too much experience with them. Do I get to explain it or just?
Yeah. Anything you need to go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have too much experience with them, but I hear they're like pretty bad. I think I've only played like one, but yeah, I don't think I have enough experience to speak on them. But I've heard that they actually like their custom shop makes really good quality guitars. So I think they are underrated in that aspect, and probably appropriately rated in the beginner guitars department.
Yeah.
That was my first guitar.
Yeah.
That was the first act.
I just remember like at my Walmart I went to, at the checkout line, like past the checkout, there was the guitar section for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always look at the first act guitars.
Yeah, me too. It was always tempting. They made it look good, but it was like.
They claim that the Maroon 5 guitarist played first act.
Oh,
he probably played the custom shop one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that was actually made with concern for the quality. Yeah.
What about Elixir guitar strings?
I think, yeah, this one's kind of a tough one. Guitar strings in general, I think, are overrated in terms of like what people claim they do. But that's been my experience. Like I haven't found a huge change, but there has been exception with Elixir. I just put Elixirs on my Ovation guitar, Ovation Celebrity, and that because the stock, I think I had like Dean Markley strings or something on them before, but the Elixirs really improved the sound. I would say probably like 25, 30%. So I would say I don't think they have a magic tone, like they're going to magically make you better or like make your tone that much better. I know I would say, I would kind of say in total, they're overrated because guitar strings just don't affect you that much. There can be like really bad strings that like are just dead and, you know, they corrode easily, but I don't like if you're just playing an average guitar string like Ernie Balls or D'Addario or Elixirs, or like NYXLs, I don't think there's a huge threshold of how far apart they are in terms of like, you know, tone and like durability, things like that. So I don't think more expensive guitar strings are necessarily worth it, but you know, that's just me.
Do they sell, I don't know anything about electric guitar, do they sell Elixir electric guitar strings?
Yeah, it's a very hot item in the electric guitar community as well. People claim that it does wonders, just like in acoustic guitars. I think it has way more effect on acoustic guitars because, you know, pickups are the most important aspect of tone for electrics, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that was good.
Yeah, so I think they're good for acoustics for sure, investing in, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about anime?
Anime, yeah, I've watched a few. I've gotten into it, especially in the last year. Like, I don't know. It depends on who you ask or like who you associate with anime. If you would consider it overrated or underrated, I would say, I don't know. This is tough. Yeah, it's definitely not. I don't know, because I feel like it's popular in internet culture, but in everyday culture, like if you just mention it to someone else, to another adult that you know locally, it's going to be underrated. But in internet culture, I think it's a little overrated.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
With my middle schoolers, it is certainly overrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's like Naruto running everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Naruto running. Yeah.
What about GarageBand?
GarageBand, I would say, is underrated. You can do some really cool stuff in it, like Logic, like, you know, Logic Pro and Logic, you know, just the software. It's basically just advanced GarageBand, to be honest. It's like the same format and everything. GarageBand can do a lot of things. Like you can record an entire song album on it. You can like run your guitar through it or run instruments through it, record, and like Macs have a very usable interface. So it makes it very easy to get stuff done. And I think it's pretty underrated. People like shell out a lot to buy all this music software to record something, but I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, GarageBand is really underrated.
Going to college.
Going to college, also a tough one. I think I don't know. I think it's sort of, it used to be overrated. And I think right now at this time, it's sort of appropriately rated to what it is worth now. Cause like, if you ask most people who might be actually overrated a bit still, cause a lot of people are still going despite not knowing what they want to do with their lives. So yeah, I would say it's still slightly overrated, but it's if you know what you're doing and you know that it's going to be beneficial in your career to move up, I would say it is it's a valuable thing to do, but it can be pretty overrated for people who are just going there because, you know, of the stigma and like they want to find out what they want to do, and it's a pretty expensive way to find out. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually still in school technically.
What are you studying?
So I'm finished. I did my bachelor's in computer science. I finished that in 2018, And then since then, I switched over to a slightly different field of cybersecurity.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been studying that. And so I finished all my coursework, and then I just have my thesis left to do, which I'm working on.
Nice.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, that's,
My brother's doing cybersecurity right now in school.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he had got his bachelor's in IT and stuff. So
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that world. I should ask him more about it so I can understand it. But it sounds pretty epic.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can be. It can be pretty interesting for sure. It's yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely something I like doing, for sure.
That's awesome.
Right.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
I don't know. Cheetos. I've kind of like grown apart from Cheetos. I like
Just
Takis.
Cheetos though.
I know it's what.
They're flaming hot.
No, I know they're flaming hot. Yeah, I like flaming hot stuff. Like I like Takis and
Okay.
Doritos Locos, like really flaming hot. But like Cheetos in general, I've kind of grown apart from. I think flaming hot Cheetos. I don't know. I feel like saying they're appropriately rated is like boring, but like I don't know. For me, I think.
So you would take Takis over flaming hot Cheetos, though.
Yeah,
that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, I just like the texture of Cheetos. I'm not like a fan of. Actually, yeah, I'm not. I like them when they're flaming hot. I don't like the original Cheetos flavor anymore. I'll just be fair with that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'll eat flaming hot Cheetos anytime though. So
I would say. Do you have an Aldi by where you live?
Sorry.
An Aldi, like the store.
I like the shoes.
It's just like a store.
Grocery store.
To like buy the cart for $0.25 and then you get the $0.25 back. You don't know what Aldi's is?
No, I don't think we have that here. What type of store is it again?
It's just like a grocery store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have that.
I guess you're in like Costco land.
Yeah, we're in Costco. I'm actually from Kirkland Signature. Like I live in Kirkland. Like, because the first Costco was there. From Kirkland Signature. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our claim to fame.
We're not knowing what Aldi is then.
That's okay. It's like a German grocery store that came to America.
Yeah, it sounds German.
Yeah.
They have a good off-brand of Takis if you ever find yourself there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you ever come to Michigan,
okay.
take you to Aldi.
Okay, cool.
Thanks so much for being on this podcast. We really appreciate it, Neil.
No problem. Thanks a lot for having me. It's been great. Been a pleasure.
Anything you want to plug? You said you're working on some more videos or him?
Yeah, definitely going to continue with videos at least. I try to get solo material together. I just need enough motivation to get that done.
Is the solo stuff going to be instrumental?
Yeah, it would probably be instrumental. I mean, and I like dabble in like different genres, like subgenres of metal and like also like shred. But I think we could count on it. We could count on it being instrumental. Might get a guest vocalist, but yeah, just not sure. Not too certain at this point. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
Which is just your name, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much my name. Yeah, just Neil Prakasam. And yeah, my Facebook page, Neil Prakasam Musician.
What is the Reformed mosh pit?
What is the Reformed mosh pit? That's a great question. It is.
Are you Reformed, like theologically?
I don't think I've done enough research into it but so far everything I've researched, I mostly agree with. I'm not like a cessationalist, but it's I would say like the solas seem pretty legit. So based on what I've seen, it seems like something I agree with. Yeah. But cool. I would consider myself more Pentecostal till I can figure out what Reformed truly means. But Reformed mosh pit is basically Reformed people and other people who listen to metal and heavy rock and things like that. But cool. It's a pretty good gathering. I'm somewhat, I like to like post my videos there and post like a bunch of memes there as well.
Yeah, I appreciate the memes.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
A daily dose of just nice memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to like just make people laugh and brighten people's day with sharing stuff that I find on my feed, and like because I'm friends with a bunch of other musicians who post memes and things like that. So that's like.
We found the group. It's just called A Group Where We All Pretend to Be Boomers Who Play Guitar.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice one.
That is a pretty nice one. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a funny way to make fun of the stigmas that have been in the guitar community for a while. So it is. Yeah, it is pretty funny from time to time. Yeah. So thanks for adding me on Facebook, despite, not knowing me. I realized we were in a lot of the same groups. Once I realized you were in like the worship, like praise and worship guitar group, and then the Shred Guitar Kingdom, I was like, oh, perfect. Oh, you were also in Shred Guitar Kingdom. I didn't know.
Yeah. I love that genre. I have been trying to learn how to sweep pick since 8th grade. So.
So you play electric somewhat.
Yeah. I guess our final over and under question for you, specifically related to Shred, would be Ibanez guitars, overrated or underrated?
Oh man, another hard one. It's I would say, yeah. The thing is, these are hard because I don't know like the public opinion on them.
Mine is the Ibanez Geo, of course, because I would say
the Geo. I think.
Mentioning.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like it's pretty good in terms of specs. Like what it's got 24 frets. It's got a Floyd Rose like tremolo. It's got what you need to shred. It's not like super high quality. It's not going to stay in tune that well, but it's in terms of it's better for shred than like a Strat or a Les Paul. I think it's one of the more comfortable like. In terms of like what it is, not like necessarily the quality, but like the actual foundation of what it is, like the body shape. Yeah, the body shape is very comfortable. It's ergonomic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a good. I would say it's not underrated, a bit underrated, but not that underrated because all the shredders use them.
Yep.
So.
Have you ever heard of Sovereign Grace Music?
Yeah, I've heard of them, especially in the Reformed groups.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, that's a mixture of charismatic and Reformed.
If you could shred over that, that'd be nice.
Because they're because their music, they do a little bit different kind of, they're not like Waymaker type, It's, right. It's like a mixture of the hymns and.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checked out some of their stuff for sure. Yeah, it seems like a good, good compromise, like you said, like charismatic style with Reformed type lyrics and
and like I don't know that. Or have you heard of the Getty music? Oh yeah, because In Christ Alone, so the Getty, Keith and Chris and Getty.
Yeah, name sounds familiar, but I haven't looked into it too much.
Because they have Celtic Irish worship music.
Oh wow, that sounds pretty interesting.
Which is fun. Like I don't know how you could shred over that, but.
Just play all the flute parts.
I don't know, because they have a lot of flute and they have a lot of fiddle and violin.
Sounds cool.
And it might be kind of fun to try to figure out how to do something with that because it's I don't know. That's the music I've been listening to a lot recently, so that's why it's on my mind. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how we can get you to do more worship videos without getting YouTube bored, because I think there is a lot out there. It's just it's certain circles of people, like I'm like the Reformed, kind of circle, which they love Getty music, or Sovereign Grace. So it's kind of, whereas the charismatic might do more of like Elevation Church. Yeah,
Bethel, Hillsong.
Right.
This type of stuff. And, they have some good like songs that aren't, theologically shaky. Like they have like decent songs somewhat. But, and I do try to do songs like that people know and can like, and like they already doing songs that they already know is like more helpful to like, I don't know, it's like for them to spread it around because they're like, hey, I know the song and things like that. So like it's easier to get the word out that way. But
so true.
Yeah, I could, yeah, I try to, what I try to look for in songs is like, basically if I'm vibing with it, if it's like something that I like, I have to actually like the song to listen to it over and over again in order for my mind to come up with something. So that itself, I'm like kind of a picky elitist, or like, I don't know, I just have like a specific taste when it comes to those songs. Like just something that's very melodic usually is something that like tickles my fancy, you know. So it's like stuff like that, and stuff like that is more rare in the charismatic area, but it's usually, yeah, like I said, like just a catchy verse or something is something that I can go off of to solo, because I like just play that catchy chorus or verse. Like the structure of how I solo is like, I'll start at probably the bridge, you know, like where it's like 3/4 into the song, and then I'll play from the bridge to the end of the song, so it like ends. So like the whole solo is like 1 or 2 minutes, and it ends like right when the song ends.
Yeah,
So,
I've noticed that. It's not the whole thing. It's like
yeah,
it comes right in and it comes right out. So it's like not too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I get a lot of comments that are like, oh, please just cover the whole song, record the whole thing again, and like cover the whole song. And I'm like, is that something? First of all, it's like, it's hard to come up with like all those like unique licks and phrases just for a minute long. But and then like doing that for like 4 minutes is like kind of overdoing it a bit, I think, because I don't know if people probably do want to hear like a 4-minute guitar solo, but I could probably just like play the melody for the first like 3 minutes and then like go ham in the last minute like people want. But yeah, I've thought of doing that. I'll probably do that in the future. But yeah, I got a few more worship ideas at least to do, so there won't be any extinction at least. So
awesome. Well, we cannot wait to hear more of it.
Yes.
And thanks again so much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for inviting me to do this. It's been a pleasure. It's been really fun.
Want to get through it out. All right. Well, see you, Neil. Bye.